Starting on the Bitcoin, the daily. Let's start with the daily, of course. The daily looks horrendous, very bad, because if I think, especially since we're on the daily, we should ignore what's happening there, but we should focus on what really happened. This was our initial range, and then we went above, and then we did this big manipulation, which people were thinking that we are gonna go all-time high from here, which did not happen. Me personally was looking to short from the 90k area, but I never got the 90k. But my bias was from the start, from very one day, my bias was short. Since the day we did this breakout, my bias was short. There was not a single day where I said that Bitcoin will be going to 8k from here, Bitcoin will be going all-time high from here. The second that breakout happened, I said this, all of this is a manipulation and this is just a bear trap. And you can see, as soon as we topped, we were followed by a very big and significant crash. So what basically has happened is that this was the range. We did a fake breakout of the range. We went up, we marked out the top. Now what's happening right now is that we have formed an entire new range just below this, below the support of the previous range. Again, I'm going to repeat this because this is very important, because this is the entire reason of this Bitcoin short, and this is our entire thesis will be built upon this. So it's very important that you understand this. So this was the range formed. Okay, once we break below this range, which was this, we have now formed a new range just below the nose of the previous range. Okay, so this is the support of the last range. We break below it, and now we have formed a new range which has the resistance of 65k, which was essentially the support of the previous range, and now we have a new support of this entirely new range, which is 58k. So this new range is that we should be focusing on, and especially the 65k area. So now I'm going to talk about why. So 65k is the area that if we do a breakout of, essentially then we are looking at higher prices. Again, I'm not saying that if we do a breakout of the 65k, we are going to go to the all-time high. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if we do, and that's a very big if, because right now there are no indications that we are going to do a breakout of the 65k. That's really important. If we do a breakout of the 65k, then I am looking at the price range of 70k to the 73k to get tapped, and then we do something like this. This FEG is very important here, because I'm pretty sure we also have OTE levels around this. You can see 0.62 just around this level. So if we do a breakout of the 65k, then we are going to tap this level. But again, it's a very big if, and we will see once it happens. Right now that's not happening, so there's no need to worry about that. Simple. But I have told you, just in case, the number that you should be looking at is 65k. Okay, you should be looking for a short, because the general rule of the trading, and this is the rule that you need to master, because once you master this rule, you will be unstoppable. And even right now I'm not able to master this properly, and that's simply trade the range until it's broken. It sounds easy, it sounds simple, but it's not. You might think, okay, simply buying on the support and buying on the selling on the resistance, it's so easy. It's not, because when the price will be here, you will be thinking it's going to do a breakout, but it's not. When the price will be here, you will think it's going to do a breakout. Oh, I shouldn't short from here. What if it's go higher? And then you're going to miss the opportunity. It's very hard, but it is essentially the secret of the trading, which is just doing the obvious, because sometimes it's very obvious, but it is very hard to act upon. So every time the market approaches 65k, we want to look for the short. Every time market approaches 61k, or I would say moreover like 60k, this is where we want to look for the longs. Simple. Unless the data suggested otherwise, which is that we do something like this. Where we do a proper breakdown. But right now we don't see any signs of it. It seems like we are forming a nice range, and we're going to trade the nice range until it's broken. 65k, this value area high was very important. And in this, the most obvious and most easiest liquidity to spot is this. This was the most obvious high and the closest high to the 65k value area high. So if we do a swing failure pattern of this, then it's most likely that we are gonna reject from here. The swing failure pattern is basically just a liquidity sweep in easy words. So you can see that's what we did here. So first of all, and this was a very interesting thing that happened, and that made me like take the trade instantly, which was, first we made this high, but we did not sweep this. So I did not take a short, because I knew this is not going to work, because we will go up to sweep this. And on the second time, when we did this wick, it was very obvious that we now need to take a short, because not just we did a swing failure pattern of this, we also did a swing failure pattern of this, like a very important high. And when this wick happened, a lot of shorters, a lot of longs were trapped at this high. And this move was purely driven by the futures, not by the spot. These were the obvious signs for me to take the short, and this also confirms the failed auction. The failed auction was confirmed once we came here, and it was a very nice shot. See this, and keep in mind, despite Bitcoin looking extremely ugly, despite Bitcoin being red, the Ethereum is green. So that's great. That's a really good news. I don't know how to explain you, but this is an extremely well news. And look at this, what I said. I still don't like how ugly the daily time frame look, which of course it does look, but the reason I am so happy about Ethereum, I am bullish about Ethereum, and I'm expecting a bounce on the Ethereum, is we are holding above this black line, which is the value area low. As long as we are holding above this value area low, the Ethereum is bullish. That's it. That's simply the thesis. And you also have to realize that we haven't rejected from this daily FEG. Usually the daily FEGs does not act like that it will consolidate and then you will reject. No, the greatest FEGs are where you simply go tap and reject. But in this case, we can see that this FEG is not seem to be working, and this FEG is already invalidated. So this is not a confluence anymore. But what is a confluence is this value area low we are holding above, and the longer we hold, the stronger it gets, and we can expect it above, expect the higher prices. So I'm really bullish on the Ethereum as long as we are above this value area low, which is 1850. So as long as we are above this, I think we can even take a swing long from here. And I think it is definitely worth a chance, because the risk to reward ratio from here is insane. Because look at this. This would be our that would be our reward. That's great. I am bullish on the Ethereum as long as we are above the value area low. That's simply the case. Now let's talk about the Solana real quickly, and then I will wrap up this stream, because I don't trade anything else other than this. I might look into the stocks, but Solana is looking trash and good at the same time. That is exactly what makes me not trade Solana, because we are trading below this 77 level, and as long as we are below this level, there is nothing that can convince me that Solana is bullish. Simply, even though we are doing a breakout of the trend line, even though we are bouncing from this daily FEG, as long as we are below the 77, I'm not gonna be bullish on the Solana. I am not interested in longs in the Solana unless I get like 67, 65. But right now this looks absolutely trash, and what I'm more interested in is taking the short. And to be honest, the short does make sense here, especially the swing failure pattern we did here, and especially that we are at this major resistance, $77. So if you're in the Solana long, I would say be really careful. At least wait till it breaks the 77 level, because right now taking a long is like taking a blind long. So I will not advise. I will not even a shred of peace. I will advise you that you should take a long at $77. It will simply won't make sense. So, well, this is it for guys. I think the main thing that you should be looking at is the Bitcoin and the Ethereum. These are the coins that excites me the most right now, where I think opportunity lies. Solana is like a teenage who is still trying to figure out what the fuck it wanna do. So you can ignore the Solana. You should focus on the Bitcoin and Ethereum.